So here we go then. This is what Tracy Neville, the head coach, is starting with in this match against Samoa. Yusoro Brown on that 99th cap in the goal defence position. Mentor, Clark, Guthrie, Halsby, twice player of the match so far for the England Roses. Pittman and Harton. And here is the side that Francis Salia has gone with. Rasmussen in the goalkeeper position, the tradition. And Samoan netball, Tanimo in the shooting position, Ta'o in the goal attack as well. They had a good fourth quarter yesterday. Yes, it was a loss to Uganda, but there was the head coach, Francis Salia. And the bibs and the Velcro are being put on. And both coaches have talked about enjoying this match, this final match in Group D, as the players line up to receive both the national anthems of England and Samoa here on court number 1. So Samoa are lined up and ready, just in front of myself and Ama Agwezi. Will be going through this match with me in just a moment's time. England still in a huddle to the left. There they are. The final words of encouragement, the final words of support. The England Roses line up. Everybody comes to their feet here at the M&S Bank Arena. And Samoa will be the first national anthem that we hear.
Samoa to life.
The M&S Bank Arena here. England going for 3 from 3 to continue their 100% record against Samoa. They've played 3 times in World Cup history and England have won every single time. Alongside me, Ama Agwezi, England captain, of course, when England won gold on the Gold Coast in Australia at the Commonwealth Games last year. And Ama, every match is huge for England, the expectation, the pressure that they put on themselves and from the fans. But what are we looking for today? Tracy Neville said, I want them to enjoy themselves. Francis Salia said, I want my players to enjoy themselves. But realistically, what does she really want?
Yeah, well, it's easy to say enjoy yourself, but it's one thing saying it and another thing doing it. So you enjoy your netball when you play consistently, when you play well, when you find connection with your teammates, when you're turning over ball, when you're not making unforced errors. So both coaches will want that from their team. We know that Samoan team are ranked a lot lower than the English team, and so there'll be a lot of work for them to do, but they'll be playing to gain confidence. They know that they're going into the lower group, and so they want to up their ranking. So it's not just about, oh, we're going to lose. Every little thing, every goal that you can get is significant, whether you can win a quarter, whether you can put the opposition under immense pressure.
Everything counts at the Netball World Cup. The nations have worked so hard since the beginning of last year to qualify. Jiva Mentor, based down under. A massive cheer for her. World rank number 3 England, those INF rankings that came out at the end of June, just prior to this World Cup. Samoa world ranked 14th. It's a continuing big opportunity for the Samoan side. They lost against Scotland, they lost against Uganda. England won against Uganda and beat Scotland. You can see the emotion and the tears in the eyes of Leila Goskov. She's here, she's supporting. It's England taking on Samoa, the final match for them in Group D. Jay Clark. There's not many more experienced in the whole of the World Cup than Jay Clark, starting in the wing defence position here for England. The ball is brought on. We are ready to rock and roll. Umpires for this match: Lisa Douglas from New Zealand, Janet Eldling of South Africa, with the reserve Michelle Pippard of Australia. Little bit of a faulty start, Am Agwezi, straight up, but early doors, England now in control, working it through potentially the centre third of this court. Let's see what they've got today. Let that roll continue for both sides.
Yes, definitely, and England will be... They've obviously lost Leila Goskov, a significant loss for them, and you mentioned Jade Clark, an experienced seasoned player. She was not necessarily in the starting 7, and so now she will have to step up, and she's got that experience, so it will be interesting to see how she goes and how she slots into the team. She's a great leader in the team, and so I imagine it will be seamless, but it's one thing saying it, but not so easy doing it.
Helen Housby, she just always seems to continue where she's left off, the England shooting star. 2 on the board in the early part of this first quarter for England. England centre pass. Pittman, Housby, cross court to Guthrie.
And another goal there comfortably from Jo Harton, relaxing into the game. Guthrie doing what she does best, a little bit offside there, but... Oh, and Clark working hard, unfortunately called for offside, but I think the English defence showing that they mean business and working well together.
Set up, first score on the board for Samoa. England leading 4-1, already a couple of minutes gone in this first quarter. So, Guthrie in that centre position.
Contact centre.
An attempted 1-2. It lands into the hands of Jo Harton in the goal shooter position, starting there today. Look at the England fans, Emma. Do you see that on court? You must see that when you're playing. Every now and again, you must glimpse across and see stuff like that.
Well, it's strange when I'm on court. Once I step onto the court, I'm in the zone, so I don't really even hear the fans. And my husband and family used to say, "Oh, did you hear me cheering?" And I'd say no, and they'd be a bit disappointed. But some girls do hear the crowd, some don't. But irrespective, I think you generally feel a buzz. So if the crowd is loud, whether you hear them specifically or you just feel a general sense of electricity, it's all brilliant. And there are so many England fans in the house today, and they've got their energy, they've brought it. We'll need them as the tournament goes on, but for now, England, Samoa, and Samoa looking to score another.
So backcourt call. Bounce pass gets it back in play for Samoa. Ta'o.
Contact.
Contact called, but the goal stands. 3-goal advantage then for England. I mentioned Samoa had that loss to Scotland, 53-35 on the opening day here on Friday, then lost 69-48 to Uganda yesterday. But there has been a little bit of shooting sparkle from the Samoans when they get the opportunity and the ball is got in a position for them. And it's crucial that they hang on, Amma, as much as they can to the England Roses, especially in the early part. There's Francis Talea, the head coach.
Yeah, definitely. Frances is shouting tips to her team. She knows that they know how to play netball. A lot of them play their netball in New Zealand. Samoa have lots of skill and athleticism, so it would just be about nailing the ball in, working it to the goal at times when they get possession. Here's another opportunity for them. They patiently bring it through. It's not about rushing it with a team like England against them, and just there waiting for the parts to open up. Usoro Brown was drawn off, and she confidently found Tanimo under the post.
Guthrie, in the blink of an eye, back with the centre pass. Obstruction called. So Housby, little step forward, clear shot. 8-4 England lead, coming up to 10 minutes remaining of this first quarter. Well, some of these fans, Emma, they must have had to pace themselves. She's excited.
I don't know how they have the energy. It's a long, long game, and they're able to cheer the whole time.
You know why? They've waited for 4 years for the World Cup to come here to Liverpool in the north of England.
It's true, they've waited even longer. I think the last World Cup was in 1995. The last World Cup in the UK was in 1995 in Birmingham, our hometown. And so they've waited a lot longer than 4 years, but knowing it was going to be here 4 years ago. And there's just been a gentle increase in buzz around netball in the UK.
So Harton pops one in. All the shooters so far on court in the early part of England, Samoa. We're at 100%, a rare miss from Helen Housby. She's now 3 from 4. And this is a tough job, another roll around the net from Housby. The second miss of the game, but the tough ask, isn't it, for the Samoan defenders against the likes of Harton and then obviously Helen Housby.
Yeah, definitely is. And Harton and Housby both play their wares in Australia in the Suncorp Super Netball, and they're key players in World Netball, and so it is a really tough issue for defenders to try and play against them.
An easy pick-up, turnover for England with Mentor in defence position. Clark down the outside to Guthrie. Lovely take, lovely keep-in, ballerina type moves from Jo Harton, and up the other end. Well, for many years, Amma, arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, Jiva Mentor, getting it back into the hands of the England Roses, up the other end, and a goal for them.
Yeah, and Mentor at it again, tip, chase down. She's leaping over barriers. She's doing everything. She is immense, arguably the best in the world, and still got it. A very experienced player and a stalwart for the England team. Serena got 3. Bit of a little contact, the old hip charge there, and staring down her opponent as her opponent fell. She means business.
Well, Guthrie, like all of the Roses, all of the players from the nations in this Vitality Netball World Cup, enjoying the fan support. Every nation so well represented, so many fans, and the fan zone outside packed, and the players love that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just nice to feel there's a buzz around Liverpool. Even when you're walking in the city centre, you just feel a buzz about the city, and Liverpool have definitely welcomed the world, and it's really great, I think, to see fans from all over the world. We know that Australian, New Zealand, English fans typically are sort of Brown there just playing with her hair a little. She's got an extra little band in it just to keep it tame. Potentially could be a lethal weapon whipping opponents. But the buzz around Liverpool is great, and it's nice that fans have travelled. The UK is an eclectic mix of people, so some fans probably live here and might be foreign and supporting foreign teams, but it's just nice for players to feel that vibe.
And feeling it they are. Jo Harton popping another one in for the Roses. So far, so good. Agwezi for England in terms of Samoa. 4 goals on the board. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, but England are just over every single part and every third of the court at the moment as Jo Harton picks it up and throws it back to Clark.
That was a great tip from Serena Guthrie. Her and Housby turned, sprinted towards the ball. Guthrie was behind Housby and actually out-sprinted her to keep it on court. So that was, I'm sure they'll be having, chatting about that sprint race that they just did. So here, Guthrie comes from Housby. Housby had time to clap her instead of getting back onto court, but I'm sure they'll watch the replay of that, and Guthrie will be cheering about how her sprint speed is better than Housby's.
Guthrie in the wing defence position at one point in the match against Scotland. Housby into the wing attack. So Tracy Neville having the depth in her squad to mix it up with positions. Is that just for Tracy Neville to see, or is that a psychological thing as a head coach to say, you know what, look at my squad, you're not quite sure who I'm going to put out?
Yeah, I think it's both, but I think the players, they pretty much should already, you don't come into a tournament here and suddenly get thrown into wing attack, say if you're Helen Housby, and it be a surprise. So the players will know what positions that she's looking at them in, and it's interesting because other teams, they watch the games, and so if you do have a surprise up your sleeve, if I was a coach, I'd be thinking, actually, I'm going to keep that in my back pocket for when I need it most.
Third team playing 5, coming up to 5.5 minutes remaining of this first quarter. The final match in Group D for England against Samoa. Nice high ball over. Lamano trying to get it into a shooting position for Tahu, but Ebony Beckford, Usoro Brown, excuse me, another one of the England squad, like many coming up for getting married. And in the blink of an eye, Emma, down to Jo Harton. She is just as cool as an absolute cucumber. It's her style, it's her technique. For any young shooters watching, why is it so good?
It's great. Her technique is, she's embedded that, so practice and practice and practice. So every day, shooters typically shoot about 100 shots, and when you're younger, you'll practice even more. But Jo Harton she's the ultimate shooter. She is so calm and controlled, having a little chat there. She supports the team, she speaks to them. She'll be at the back shouting when it's in defence. So she's an all-round player, great leader for this team.
Tahoe running around for Samoa in that wing attack position. Samoan side, Luamanu trying to get into a shooting position for the world number 14s. And they do. Not quite comfortable, wants to get a little bit nearer. An opportunity raises its head, and one that must be taken when one's created. And Tanimo under the big 10-foot post pops one in.
Beautiful, and knits parts here from Pittman to Harton. Beautiful vision and a beautiful connection between the two of them.
So England 15-6 up. They haven't lost a quarter yet in the World Cup here in Liverpool. And in control here is Housby with a familiar technique of her own, popping one in. What have you seen from Samoa so far, though, Amma, that they're doing well and you would like to see more of to put maybe a little bit more pressure on England?
Yeah, they are doing really well. When they have the ball in attack, they're being patient, they're working around. England are playing a little bit off a zone, pushing them out of the middle of the court, and they are patiently working around. They are finding space. It's just things like that. So unforced errors, or actually it's not really unforced, they're under increased pressure. Serena Guthrie and Jade Clark are combining really well outside the circle in defence for England, and the mid-quarters from Samoa are just struggling to deal with that pressure.
So Guthrie, as usual, not even batting an eyelid. And Jo Harton, instinctively like a magnet, just drawn to the shooting post, puts another one in for the England Roses. Yeah, the move's not paying off for Samoa, such is the strength of the defence. Jay Clark shouting, give it to me. Guthrie obliges, gets it to Housby. You wouldn't put it past Serena Guthrie. They're the ones that would normally stay in and she'll go missing in action.
Completely putting her body on the line. She loves doing that. But what you want someone like that in your team, definitely.
Let's have a look here, Serena in action.
Just that flick above the head. You don't necessarily practice those shots, but Guthrie, I think she does. She's kamikaze, she's everywhere, and people underestimate her athletic ability, and defensively, that's why she wins a lot of ball. But in attack, you want her in your team because she will put her body in the line. It's do or die for her.
Well, words from the captain of England when they won the Commonwealth Games, Amma Agwezi, and the current captain, Serena Guthrie. So Samoa now. Gosh, it's that defence, it's that brick wall that England Roses put up. And then you've got to face a centre court with the likes of Clark, Usoro Brown, and then the shooting prowess at the other end. Oh, a lovely bounce pass across to Pittman. The space is being created. Oh, what can you do with that? Amma. When somebody like Jo Harton, she said yesterday we were clinical against Scotland, and she's been clinical so far today.
Yeah, constantly. She is that player. She wants to be perfection, so she gets really frustrated with herself, and sometimes you have to say, Jo, you're actually one of the best players in the world. Go easy on yourself. But she can get the ball. She can shoot from anywhere. Amazing bounce there from Serena, got through to open up the circle. And if Harton's going to shoot from outside range in the circle, then it doesn't matter how they work the ball around. Wherever she gets the ball, she's happy to put it up.
So 14 from 14, as the graphic shows for Jo Harton. But up the other end, Samoa piecing some good stuff together, pulling another one back. We're in the final minute, though, of the first 15 minutes here. The fans enjoying everything from the England Roses so far. Just looking at the statistics for England, I mentioned they've not lost a quarter yet. The biggest score in the first quarter has been 18-9. That was yesterday against Scotland, so they've surpassed that one with this first quarter score against Samoa. Being forced back. 10 seconds on the clock. Nope, you're not getting past your Sora Brown. Well, Jo Harton takes a tumble as the final whistle goes.
There was a contact there, so the final whistle has actually gone, but the contact was made just before the end, so Harton gets to take a free shot. The crowd are cheering because it was teetering on the circle edge, and she nailed it.
Nailed another one. England Roses in control, leading Samoa 22 goals to 7. The England Roses with a 22-7 lead. Myself and Amma Agwezi are scanning the court. Let's see if any changes have been made by Tracy Neville or Francis Salia. Looks like the same England outfit at the moment on court. And Tanimo, looks like she's still in the shooting position for Samoa as well. She's 6 from 6 at the moment. We've still got a couple of players, shooters, Harton, Tanimo on 100% shooting stats. But it's the England Roses then and Serena Guthrie to get us underway in this second quarter. Pittman right in front of us here in the commentary position looking for space. Lovely little pass off to Housby, who scoots round the outside to get herself in position if needed, and she's not, because Jo Harton is continuing where she left off.
Yeah, definitely, and I think I just wanted to point out Rachel Rasmussen's defence there. So the first phase went to Chelsea Pittman, and Housby was already driving for the second phase play there, and Rachel Rasmussen just came out of the circle, just tempted it, so it delayed play slightly. They didn't win possession, but just putting that bit of doubt in the minds of the England attackers.
So Misa is on in the goal defence position for Samoa. Here she is now on the ball. Her first Samoan cap here at this World Cup. And Solano looks like she's gone into the goal shooting position. Will bring confirmation of the changes made. At the moment, it's Samoa on the charge, looking to get into the circle with that strong England defence. Ta'o with the ball. Oh, little pass off, avoiding the long reaching arms of Jiva Mentor.
Exactly right, a beautifully timed pass off. Relieve that pressure, I think. Yeah, and we mentioned
good work.
Rachel Rasmussen was looking for that earlier, and now she's come up with one. Hopefully her team can actually work this, have patience, get around the English defence as that pressure builds down court.
Good work from Rasmussen at one end. Now she needs her shooters to deliver. She's done the work and she's got them in a position. Familiar family name, of course, of Rasmussen, as with Salia and Salia Gibb in the Samoan side.
Yeah, so Salia Gibb is the sister of the coach, and they have four other sisters who played for Samoa. And then Rasmussen, there are several Rasmussens in New Zealand. I think it's I'm not sure if it's Dutch, but Rachel Rasmussen playing netball for Samoa. Her sister Grace Rasmussen plays netball for plays her netball club netball in New Zealand. Has played for the Silver Ferns. Was at the Commonwealth Games last year. So Rasmussen and Salia, big netball names in New Zealand and Samoa.
Indeed, there's 5 Salia sisters. They've all played at some point for their national side, Samoa. 24-8 then, 12.5 minutes remaining until half-time. England going cross-court, accurate, speed. Guthrie, bounce pass out to Harton, a little fake, goes back out to Pittman. Housby.
Goal defence obstruction.
Just wanted to mention
call.
some great defence there actually from Williams on Guthrie, so she couldn't get the ball back on the circle edge. She ran hard on the body. The umpire let the contest happen. England managed to work the ball around and find someone else, but just that intense pressure from Williams.
1 pass, 2 pass, 3 passes into the circle. Cannot be done more efficiently than that.
No, it can't, but did you go to school to learn to count like that?
Abacus is very popular in my day, Emma.
Sorry, what?
Rachel Dunn warming herself up, putting the ball back in court for her teammate Jiva Mentor. England then on the sideline. Pittman throws, looks for the vision. A little bit too much for Helen Housby on that occasion. Sorry, says Jo Harton.
Yeah, Jo Harton, she knew Housby was going to be there.
An injury to the wing attack for Samoa. So a change for them. And there's the shooting stats for Harton and Housby for the England Roses. So an injury change for Samoa.
Advantage obstruction, goal attack.
It's them on the attack. The centre Williams looking for some space. He's forced backwards. Trying to find the pockets, trying to find the angles, Samoa. Just trying to weave themselves into the England defence, which is not an easy job. Contact goalkeeper call, Mentor stands by. Chance for Samoa to pull one back. Appreciated by the crowd.
I mean, I think the player that's just been injected into the game is Anne-Helen Noalaitia, and she looks like Grace Rasmussen, so she actually is, I believe, the sister of Rachel Rasmussen. So I think that's her married name.
It continues, the connections, the netballing family. Housby looking for a connection with Guthrie. Over the top. Oh, nice 2-3 pick-up. Samoa got to make this one count, thwarting England on that occasion. Nice passage of play, this. And then Serena Guthrie comes, as usual, from absolutely nowhere and defends like a demon. And it'll be a pick-up ball for Samoa. Nice little bit of play, this, from Samoa. Couple of enforced changes for Francis Salia, but making a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I think Noalaitia came on with oomph and gusto, and the team's lifted from that. This defensive combination here, Rachel Rasmussen doing a bit of work back up there from her teammate, and they took it down court really well. To'o chose a great pass in that pocket ball. Serena Guthrie tried to go through the interception, contacted, which slowed the passage of play, which gave the England defenders time to actually get him in the proper positions.
Nearly from Jade Clark in the wing defence for England, thwarting the firing ball that came across from Samoa. Well, early before the match, Francis Salia, the head coach of Samoa, said they had a positive 4th quarter in that loss against Uganda yesterday. They only lost the second half by 4. So when they get the positions right and they click and they get a little passage of play, Agwezi, they can do some damage.
Yeah, they definitely can, and at the moment the score is 4-3 to England. So Samoa are doing damage to England. When they play that gentle, comfortable game, play possession, get their timing right, they can be significant and they can score goals.
Helen Housby lets down a little as she gets up off the court. Clark will pick up. That sixth sense, that communication that all the top nations have, and England in particular, as you'll know better than most, Emma, being the Commonwealth captain when England Roses won gold. It's like that's second nature, it's that sixth sense, because the relationships are so strong. Yeah, definitely, and I think the Roses have a programme where over the summer, usually they train 4 days a week together in Loughborough in the UK, and you pretty much live on top of each other, and so you get to know each other really well. You don't have to be the best of friends, you just have to perform on court, but having those relationships off court just does help that little bit. There's a nice bit of play there by Samoa, with a mistake at the end, put the ball back in play for England. Harton.
Throw in, England.
So, the Samoa fans are in, and one of them is less enamoured than the other. But he'll wake up. He'll wake up. The noise, I've got a feeling, is going to continue to ramp up here at the M&S Bank Arena. But fans of all ages, inside the arena, outside, Emma, some Well, when they're awake, enjoying it.
I think there's potential that could be one of the players of one of the babies of a player on court. So in New Zealand and in Samoa, there's this culture of you can have a baby and you can come back and do your job. And players have babies, families support them, and the child is looked after, and they come back and play. And so I hope to see that come into the game more in the UK.
So Samoa again on that far left-hand side of the court by the England bench. Mentor jumps. A little bit of distraction means the ball doesn't go in for Samoa. The lead stays 20 then for England. 7 minutes up until half-time. Looks like we've got a change going on. Helen Housby putting her thumb up to the umpire. So Housby off, Haythornthwaite on in the goal attack position for England. Played in that win against Scotland yesterday, 100%. 4 from 4. She started the wing attack position yesterday, Haythornthwaite in the game, but brought on now by Tracy Neville in the goal attack position.
Yeah, so Haythornthwaite, she's wearing some compression garments on her legs. She suffered a hamstring injury before coming into this tournament, and she hasn't, as far as I can recall, started any games, and so, started any games at goal attack, and so she keeps being injected in there. But I think it will be good if Tracy Neville potentially can get her a start in a game. She is a great impact player, but I do think actually she might need to step up in some of the future games, and so it will be good for her to get a full game under her belt if she can.
Samoa and push back into the centre third. Come on, she says, asking the goal defence misser to come forward and help her out. Patiently building up Samoa.
You took the words right out of my mouth, but unfortunately, it's just that those last balls, they just can't get them. Little contact, footwork, poor ball handling, and just little mistakes creeping into the game at the end.
And that'll be the frustration for Francis Salia as well, the head coach of Samoa. And doing some good passages of play. But as we're seeing, just the end bit that is needed that is letting them down at the moment. But at the other end, well, Harton gives Pittman a clap. Thanks her for the pass. 34 playing 10, coming up to 5 minutes remaining until half-time. Soda Brown will stand by, contact called. Another opportunity, Amma, now for Samoa again.
And another opportunity lost. So just then, Soda Brown was called for contact. As a player jumps in the air and catches to land the ball, you have to give them space to land. So you have to back off that space. I think it's just to protect players from injury. Unfortunately, Samoa have lost possession, and Salia will be disappointed that they're not capitalising on this. These type of games, you look back and you have regrets about what could have happened. Jo Harton putting her body on the line. Unfortunately, the umpires deemed she was out of court, but I think she's just learning from Serena Guthrie is one of her best friends, so I think she's thinking, anything you can do, I can do just as well. Not quite this time, but almost.
It's in the locker, it'll come out. Haythornthwaite then. Guthrie, again, just appears from nowhere in the centre position for England, passes it off to Harton and pops another one in. Here's the moment.
Quite hard done by, I believe. I feel like she flicked it on. She's, rather than getting up quick promptly though, she's looking to see. I think she was pleased with her work there.
Well, pleased with their work is the phrase at the moment for the England Roses as they put another one in with 4 minutes to go until half-time. 36-10, it's a 26-goal lead. They've stretched it out from 15 after the first 15 minutes. Williams, though, literally nearly did a full 360 turn looking for somebody to come to pass the centre to. Nissa stands up in the goal defence position, passes it on. So, once again, Williams the centre. Making it count.
You can get quite dejected in a game like this. So Samoa aren't necessarily used to playing England that often, and when you constantly lose possession, it is demoralising, and so you want to score from any time you have the ball in a game where you've only scored 10 goals in almost 2 quarters of netball. And when there's people like Jo Harton shooting the ball from the circle edge, whenever you get the ball, you need to lift and you want to score just to get that back into your team's play.
Rolled in, little high five between Haythornthwaite and Harton. So Williams again, that's better. That's a quicker centre passer that Samoan centre would have wanted, but another mistake as they enter their attacking third means that England capitalise
Keep heads obstruction
instantaneously.
inside. Yep.
We'll flick over, Harton.
Unfortunate there for Rasmussen getting called for an obstruction call. She's actually doing quite a good job, but unfortunately it's just difficult for the Samoa team.
Another England change just before half-time. Stick that Velcro on. There she goes. Guthrie off at centre. Nat Panigari on. That's a massive cheer for Nat Panigari. The fans are liking that one, Amagways. That must be great as a player. You know, if you ever bought on and you get that, that's a little boost for you.
Definitely massive, and the girls will want to incite the crowd to lift them as this competition goes on. But yeah, for Nat Panigari, a first World Cup for her and a first home World Cup, so she will just be excited to get in and get on the court.
Plays for Loughborough Lightning in the UK Super League. She's broken into that mid-court and she's worked hard for it, Nat Panigari. And she's now on court in that centre position, but Samoa once again. Here we go, let's make it count this time. They've got themselves into the position, and this time they've capitalised and pulled one back with 2 minutes to go until half-time. England 40, Samoa 11.
Salanoa did really well to pull that ball in. And Joe Harton trying to say, anything you can do, I can do better. Just that fake. So she stepped her body one way, sucked the defenders, and then just found Natalie Haythornthwaite 3 under the post after the work that she had done to move those defenders. And now Harton is stood at the back of the court, hands on knees, screaming at her teammates. So just because the score is 40-11, Harton still encouraging the team, willing them to defend.
We'll talk about every match counting for points, for goals as this World Cup will progress, but it's about also impressing when you get an opportunity for your coach as well. It's like, hey, I'm in the squad, you're putting me on, let me show you what I can do.
Definitely, and I think, Catherine, you did athletics, so it was all about you doing your best and going out there, but in a team sport, it is about selection, so you can be the best you can be and think you're the best you can be, but actually, it's not up to you whether you play or not, and so you're correct here. Every player wants to step up when they get the opportunity. So Natalie Panigari, she's going to want to perform well now so that she tells Tracy, I'm here, I'm a contender, pick me when you need me.
So 45 seconds until half-time. Samoa looking to put one on the board. Panigari stands by, contact called. Oh, the mistake, the miscommunication, not the best pass, means that England are going to turn it over with 30 seconds to go. Just a little bit nearer from Harton, going back with Pittman. But at the moment, she's got her shooting shoes on today. My days, Jo Harton, 29 from 29, 100% still.
Yeah, definitely, she's working really well. I think she's just trying to practice from different ranges, so she can shoot the long bombs. The shot before then, she was moving in, trying to get closer to the post, so just practicing from range.
The fans count down the clock until half-time. Samoa, oh, unlucky. They were very much time aware. But it's England and Jo Harton thanking the fans here at the M&S Bank Arena. And the Commonwealth champions are leading Samoa by 43 goals to 11 at half-time. The coaches' chats are to follow. The half-time team talks have been had by Tracy Neville and Francis Celia. We'll cast an eye over the Samoan side and see if Celia's made any changes as well to the 7 that she had on court. But straight away, Fran Williams in the action. Haythornthwaite across court to Panigari. Rachel Dunn was absolutely on fire yesterday in that match against Scotland. She shot at 94%, 49 of 52 goals went in for the Wasps UK Super League player. And she's on the board in the early part of this third quarter. England on the sideline then, centre to Williams. I'm sure Fran Williams' mum is back in the arena. You were talking about the friends and family that are present. Ama Agwezi, who's alongside me. Fran Williams' mum was one of them, and she tweeted a picture of her mum saying, I love my mum. There she was, supporting all of England, of course, but particularly her daughter, as England put another one on the board.
Yeah, I think the Williams are just so proud of their daughter getting this call-up for the World Cup. So she got her first cap in January as an injury replacement. Layla Gutscuff in that test series injured her, I believe it was her calf, and so she was ruled out of the squad. Fran Williams came in to replace her. Jodie Gibson then in the next match got injured, and so Fran Williams surprisingly wasn't even in the 12 initially, and then got called up and got her first cap. Performed really well, and now is playing at her first World Cup.
Drops in for Samoa. I like that one. It's confirmation of the changes scroll across your screen. Samoa pull one back. England though leading 46 goals to 12. Rachel Dunn continuing to chomp at the bit. Really is taking her opportunity, Rachel. She was so disappointed, Amma, you'll know more than most, of missing out on the England squad last year at the Commonwealth Games. Of course, she's competed in 2 World Cups previously, but she's got the opportunity, and deservedly so, for her side in the Super League here in the UK. Has just been continually tireless. She's like a fine wine.
Definitely aging with beauty and grace. Yeah, Rachel Dunn, she's a great shooter. She's slightly unorthodox, and so it takes a lot, I think, for coaches to warm to her. There's her family, they follow her everywhere. Tireless netball fans, Mrs. Dunn, Mr. Dunn and her sister, they go everywhere. They're just great supporters of netball. You can always see them at Watts matches. I think her parents might have gone to the Commonwealth Games to watch just to support England netball. But Rachel she's great, she's unorthodox, she can score, and as you said, she's deservedly in this team. Throughout the Super League, she has performed, she's shot well, she played fast 5, she shoots long bombs, and so she deservedly is in this team, and she's showing why she's here for the team in this tournament.
So Atagavia in the goal attack position for Samoa, calling, shouting to her teammates, looking for some assistance. They're attacking, they're shooting deep.
Contact, goalkeeper.
Now she'll get a chance. She's 1 from 1 so far in that position now, and makes it 2 from 2 at 100%, along with the teammate Salanoa, pleasing the Samoan fans. So Dunn outside the circle, gets herself back in, across court by Panagari. Pittman looking for some support. Haythornthwaite would like to get a little bit closer, and she does, and nothing but net, as they say, for Nat Panagari. Playing down under now, of course, having played in the UK Super League. Made that transition like so many, not just UK players, Amma. A lot of players go down under and ply their trade in that Super League down in Australia and New Zealand, as you know.
Yes, they do, and actually you have to be the best players in the world to play in that competition. Not just anybody can rock up and say, here, pick me, I play netball. Australia they develop great netballers. They've got strength in depth, a wealth of people to choose from for their squad, and their competition just opened up. Previously, teams only were allowed 1 import player, but it's been opened up, the Suncorp Super Netball, and they can have any number of imports, and so the top players in the world now starting to move and play there. Netball Australia, I think, a little bit concerned in terms of the development of their own players, so not giving enough Australians the opportunity to play their netball and play at the top level. So it'll be interesting to see if that open import rule continues into the future.
Good blocking by Samoa.
In the wing
10
area.
teams in the UK Super League. All of them have representation here at the Netball World Cup. And I think there's 32 players from down under as well across this Netball World Cup being represented. Samoa with a chance. Fall short, grabbed by Fran Williams, back into the hands of Panagari. Contact called against the centre. Nuali Atia, the centre for Samoa, infringing.
And Noa Alatia there just looking out. She knows that her team need to win ball, and I played some club netball with her in New Zealand, and she's a gutsy player. She works hard, she wants to be better. She's always asking, what can I do and how can I do more? And hopefully with that emphasis on her and the skill that she brings to the game, hopefully Samoa will be able to gain more possession. But I think they're just not really capitalising when they do have the ball. They're making lots of sloppy errors, footwork, contacts off the ball, and they are under increased pressure. And I think this is one of those games where they'll look at the footage afterwards and they'll be frustrated with themselves. Not necessarily just because of the pressure that England has put on them, but they know that they're better than this at the moment. They're not performing to the best of their ability.
Yeah, we said it at half-time, there should be a few more on the board for Samoa if it wasn't for some errors at the back end, but there's no errors at the moment for the England Roses or their fans. Look at that. It's fine fettle form on a Sunday morning here in the north of England, and they're delighted that their team are 52-13 up. There's a count of the penalties so far as well. Samoa leading the way on that one with under 10 minutes remaining then until the final quarter. Williams looking for some space. Dunn over the top. And talking of over the top, she will stand by Sapolu.
Oh, Sapolu there, trying to come over the top, desperate for that interception. But that turnover came from some pressure from Jade Clark. The umpire actually said obstruction wing defence. Givamento eventually picked up. There's Sapolu trying to come over the top of her opponent, Chelsea Pittman. Givamento picked up the ball. Samoa will be really frustrated with that. As a player, if you are obstructed, you want the umpire to give you the possession. Playing advantage in that situation, it was to your detriment, and England got the ball because of it. So Samoa, again with an opportunity, looking to see what they can do.
A frown on the face of Nat Panagari, the centre for England, when contact was called. Really? She said, but she stood by. And within a second, England are back in possession. Jade Clark. It's the speed, it's the accuracy, it's the direction, it's the angles. Rachel Dunn saying, hang on a minute, I'm on a roll here, I'm in position.
It is all those things, and we just saw there, Jade did a 1-2 with Givamento, and she actually sprinted really hard. She was trying to get into the centre third. Because you can't throw over third, she wanted to get position, get into the centre third, so that she had options moving forward. She didn't just have to pass to someone in the centre third.
54-13. England winning this third quarter at the moment by 11 goals to 2, 22-7 at the first quarter, 21-4, their highest scoring quarter so far in the World Cup. Malawi has the honour of the biggest quarter win so far, 27 in their match against Malawi. Well, Malawi and Singapore on day 2. So some good stats being thrown around. Rachel Dunn, 2 World Cups. She's just unpredictable with the movement. She does really make it tricky, as you say, Emma, for the defenders, and absolutely superb stuff. We talk about taking your opportunity when it's given every single time.
Yeah, definitely, and she was under intense pressure there from Misa. She's got a great elevation and still managing to shoot Rachel Dunn beyond that. So Rachel Dunn practices, it's like nothing phases her. She looks chilled, she looks cool, typically stands with her hands on her hips, but she's comfortable at the moment.
Right, change for Samoa. A little high five. This is a change in the wing defence position. Looks like Sapolu has gone off, takes a high five from her mates on the bench, and play continues. Well, the fans at the end there behind Rachel Dunn and that post are having an absolute feast at the moment of goals that are flying in for England. Tracy Neville sits herself back down on the bench. She'll be happy, along with her coaching team, of course. Colette Thompson on it, performance coach for England Roses. She's done 4 World Cups herself, so always a lot of experience for the coaches in these national teams. As Am Agwezi grabs my left arm as Jade Clark falls but gets up. Luckily, made of Teflon.
Luckily, sorry for my screaming, but she held onto her leg when she fell, and I was just a bit concerned. Slightly, I'm supposed to be unbiased, but obviously I have a bit of an allegiance to England, and so wanting them to do well, and I never want to see an injury. England obviously already suffered that injury to Layla Gutskov, and so another injury will be devastating for their World Cup campaign.
Yeah, we never like seeing any player going down on court. And Caroline O'Hanlon for Northern Ireland on the opening day took an absolutely terrible tumble and her head hitting the floor, but luckily recovered well for Dan Ryan's side. So falls are never nice, injuries are never nice. But what is nice, if you're an England Roses fan, is seeing Rachel Dunn on super form. 11 from 11 and 100% so far.
And if the crowd keep on cheering like that, they're going to wake that sleeping baby. And I've actually had word from Kat Tuivati, who actually tells me that that is Jean Solier-Gibbs' son, and she has about 4 children. And so I was praising the Samoan and the New Zealand players for having children and coming back, and to come back after 4 children and still be playing for your country is totally impressive. And I think it also is testament to the family and the bonds that they have in New Zealand and Samoa, because you can't come back and play a sport at any level if you have 4 children, with all the training that you have to do, the dedication, the commitment, flying around. It's massive. And Catherine, you had children. I'm not sure whether you had children during competition.
No, I waited until I retired from my athletic days and have 2 now, and logistically it's hard. So the fact of having any children and then running around the world is absolutely super to see, and it's inspiring for all those involved. Oh, there we go, Babygate update. Oh no, I think Daddy's just disturbed.
But yeah, definitely an inspiration. An inspiration to me because I would like children, and I'm concerned about where I find time to fit them in, how my body's going to react. And I feel like when I'm pregnant, as soon as I'm 1 week pregnant, I'll be saying, guys, I'm sorry, I'm pregnant, I can't do anything. So for Salia Gibb to have 4 children and be coming here on the world stage, still playing netball, throwing the ball around, it's impressive.
Go Samoa's the sign behind the England Roses net. There you go. Oh, such a great vibe in the M&S Bank Arena here for every single match here at the Vitality Netball World Cup. And Samoa, though, making another mistake, giving England a chance to capitalise again. They're pushed up to the 60 mark now, 60-15, with under 4 minutes remaining of this third quarter. Natalie Haythorne-Thwaite has a little touch of Rachel Dunn, former teammates, of course, at Wasps in the UK Super League. So Panigari to Pittman. Pittman has a World Cup gold, 2011, when she won it with Australia, but she's been in the England setup since she moved in 2017, playing a pivotal role, as always, in that winged attack position. But now's a chance for Samoa again to drop one in to make it 16, and they do it. Oh, Jay Clark nearly read that perfectly. She knew exactly where it was going to go, the wing defence for England. And Jiva Mentor picks it up, and in 2-3 shots, the thirds of the court are just swallowed up by the Roses. Pittman with a little fake there. Looks one way, throws it another. Dunn knows it's coming, and Dunn pops it in.
Yeah, I think you know so much about netball now. That was impressive knowledge.
Thanks. I used to run around in a circle and chase somebody called Kathy Freeman in Australia, so any other sport that I can get involved in and ingratiate myself in, absolutely loving it. Super stuff, though. We've seen some brilliant stuff from England. Good pick-up from Samoa. Rachel Dunn, like throwing her arms wide, Emma.
Yeah, Rachel Rasmussen there. Brilliant stuff from her. Teachers on the baseline, flicked the ball in. It fell to an English player, but it's back in the hands of Samoa. Rachel Dunn, I think a little bit, thinks that she was hard done by there, but Rachel Rasmussen doing a great job for Samoa. Rachel Dunn thought she had it with 2 hands. Rachel Rasmussen not paying any attention to that, keeping it on court.
But what Samoa did is they took the opportunity, took it through the court and converted it to a goal. It was another good passage of play by Samoa.
And that's brilliant. They need just to do a little bit more of that. Unfortunate there. Contact, a little bit of contact from Jiva Mentor, but that's what she does best. She got away with it, and it was an England throwing in the end.
So it's the 8th World Cup that Samoa have competed in. Their best ever finish was back in 2003 when they finished 6th. They qualified for this World Cup by winning the Oceania Regional Qualifiers in Auckland last year. They're undefeated in that competition, Samoa. They beat Tonga, Papua New Guinea, Fiji and the Cook Islands. And now they're looking to play out this last 90 seconds of the third quarter before the final talk from head coach Francis Salia in trying to find a way to stop the juggernaut that is England Roses in this match and stop the shooting power of Rachel Dunn. But they're on the attack again, Amma. They're making a difference. What's impressed you so far in this World Cup, or in this match in particular now, that Samoa are picking up the pace? They're putting some good stuff together.
Yeah, definitely.
What have they changed? What are they doing different?
Well, I think it is, they were making silly unforced errors in terms of off-the-ball contacts, footworks and things, and they're just being a bit more patient. I think I did mention earlier the injection of Noa Alatia. She is great. She's controlling the game from the middle of the court, and they're just combining that bit better. I think they will look up to this England squad in terms of it being a challenge, and I think they're just settling into the game, becoming that bit more comfortable, happy to let the ball go. Again, though, one of those unforced errors creeping in, replay ball. Mentor,
Panigari, cross court to Clark. Rachel Dunn, never far from a post. Rachel Dunn, oh my lord. That's a very rare miss from Rachel Dunn. She was at 94%. She only missed one previously. On the opposite end in terms of nice pick up, nice take. Yeah, Nisa's not going to agree with that one. Rachel Dunn checks. Have I got to pass it or can I shoot? Oh, rolls round the net. The Haythorne-Thwaite, she's at 82%. 22-7 was the quarter that was won by England, and they lead 65 goals to 18 with just 15 minutes remaining until they go forward to the next stage of this Vitality Netball World Cup. So there's the centre circle for the final 15 minutes of England and Samoa. 65-18. The England outfit are leading the world number 3s with a comfortable lead over the world number 14s in terms of the INF rankings. And England on course for their biggest win so far in this Vitality Netball World Cup. They beat Uganda 64-32. They beat Scotland yesterday 70-34. And with 15 minutes still to go, they have 65 on the board already. Samoa's lowest count so far in their 2 matches against Scotland and Uganda have been 35. So they'll be looking to potentially put some more on the board, but their biggest score in the first and third quarter has been 7. That's all they've been able to put in quarter 1 and 3 past the England outfit. And straight away, Rachel Dunn keeps her toes in. And within seconds, not even 10 seconds, Ama Agwezi, Rachel Dunn continues the good work.
Yeah, you want to practice scoring very quickly, and less than 10 seconds is perfect, but in training, in practice, you've only got 6 seconds you need to score, you've got 1 minute you need to retain possession, so scoring quickly, just another piece of practice for the future of the tournament for England Netball.
Samoa had an opportunity. Nice fight there with Williams.
Togivaya shot it short, but fortunately for her, strong rebound and pulled it in with 2 hands.
Well, she's got her first cap here at this Netball World Cup, the goal attack for Samoa, along with Misa. So they have digits against their name in representing their nation. A nice little pick up from Haythorne-Thwaite. Oh, drop from Panigari through the legs. And Samoa now have another opportunity.
They do. Natalie Panigari not megging herself. I think the players will have one to laugh at there when they go back and look at the footage. But Samoa just gently building the ball through the court, working it, having patience. This is exactly what they need to do. So hoping that they don't get those unforced errors. Natalie Panigari trying to make up for that mistake she made earlier, but still in possession of Samoa.
So confirmation of the changes that Tracy Neville's made. You see Guthrie into the wing defence position, Haythorne-Thwaite into the wing attack, and Harton into goal attack. So the familiar shaking and a moving from the England head coach. And Sapolu's moved into the goalkeeper position now for Samoa, as they continue to plug away in this 4th and final quarter. And a nice shot there from the back of Jay Clark in the England bench. Jay Clark's so funny, Amy, you know her so well. I'm just watching her. She shouted, took a sip of water, shouted again, and then took another sip of water.
Yeah, Jay Clark, she is a character. People think that she's quiet, but I think when she's around the netball court, she comes alive, she comes into her own, and she loves, actually, when she drinks, she loves making that noise. And she says that irrespective of whether she's feeling refreshed, she says it makes the drink taste that bit better. So she probably had a bit of a gulp, settled herself to shout, and then had a bit of a gulp, but she didn't have time for her characteristic after drinking.
Well, she's the vice captain of England, of course, and the support is constant. Gabi at the goal attack now, with a chance to pull one back. Williams jumps to try and put her off. But the Samoan fans behind the posts get a chance to wave their flag and banners as another one's popped in. 12 minutes remaining till the end of this match. Remember, the final Group D match for England and Samoa. The top 3 teams in each of the 4 groups will go forward and split into 2 groups. And then the bottom-ranked team in each of the 4 groups will go into Group E. And they'll play off for the lower positions in the World Cup. Harton moving around, rolling off the bodies. She'll get a second chance, Rachel Dunn, and she nets it.
I think potentially there she's just trying to increase her rebound statistics. Her shooting, she's dropped off from 100%, still shooting at 89% though, but getting her own rebound, you can't complain with that. So as a shooter, if you miss your shot, as long as it doesn't leave the circle, I think you're onto a winner. Get your rebound, score that.
And you know what I didn't look for before the first centre pass today was that secret handshake that Rachel Dunn and Serena Guthrie, is it those that always do since 2009? Is it Joe Harton?
and Serena Guthrie.
Did they do the secret handshake?
I didn't actually see the secret handshake. Potentially they do it in the changing room, but I'll keep an eye out from now on.
I heard it's from 2009 onwards, there's always the secret handshake. We're going to look out for that going forward.
That's a long time to do a secret handshake.
Well, it's 10 years, it's a 10-year anniversary today between Guthrie and Harton. The routines that athletes have always fascinates me. She says, who had one before every big 400-metre race.
I think the fact that you did 400 was a routine in itself. That, to me, that's a marathon.
You're not wrong. I've still got lactics from 2000. Haythornthwaite, nice little 1-2 with Harton. Increasing England's scoreline is the aim, and she puts another one in. 71-20, 10 minutes remaining of this match here for England. They've equalled now, and in fact they've surpassed the score yesterday they had against Scotland when they put in 70. So it's going to be the biggest win. And Dunn puts another one in, that's 19 from 21. Stays at 90% on the shooting rota.
And I think Samoa will be disappointed with letting England score so many goals. I think they would have come into this game knowing that they were going to lose, but they're an experienced team. Pretty much most of them play their netball in New Zealand, in Auckland, and so they're experienced players. They know what they're doing, and so they'll be frustrated, and I know their coach Francis Solia will be extremely frustrated that they haven't put what they know they can do out there on court today.
Yeah, England, Serena Guthrie, come on, come forward, she says to Panigari. Ends up in the hands of Harton, lands double-footed, oh wow! It's that poise, it's the core strength that you guys have, Ama Agwezi. Beautiful stuff, kept in play and popped in from behind the back line by Harton. Oh, England are getting rampant now.
They are, and Harton just showing that class, that's what she's made of. And that ball, I wasn't even sure if she was going to catch it. She had to extend herself so high to catch it. And then, as you said, the poise, falling off the back line, but still managed to net the shot and still shooting at 100%. I was concerned when she left the court at half-time. I thought she's performing really well, and actually I think Tracy needs to make sure that players like Harton can hold it together, and so I'm glad that she's been reintroduced to the game at goal attack, so we can see what she can do here and work in a different combination of players.
There she is, jogging back. Harton for England, 100%. But Samoa now in the centre third, looking for support, looking for anybody to help her take forward. Williams now in that wing defence position for Samoa, but they're being forced back once again.
Being forced back and being forced wide. They're swinging the ball from side to side of the court. They're still being patient, which is great, but under increasing pressure. Teammate there to back it up. They've got the confidence still to put the ball in, but I still think they need to get the ball on the circle edge, maybe try a rotating circle. Givo Mentor, one of the best keepers in the world, but actually sometimes occasionally struggles on a shorter moving shooter. So actually, if Samoa, I think, if they start rotating, moving the circle around, it might help them to penetrate that circle.
Wow. Look at Jo Harton, oh my, right in front of us, Emma. Jo Harton says, oh my days. Serena, who's now laughing her head off because she nearly took the head off Jo Harton. Rachel Dunn goes, it wasn't meant for me, but I'll take it anyway. Fling.
I think Jo Harton might just claim that she touched her finger on there so that she can get a goal assist.
No. Right football here. Changes for Samoa. Changes in the goal attack position. Changes in the goal shooter position. The final throw of the dice for Francis Salea in this final Group D match. Done again. Well, Tracy Neville said before this match she wants the team to enjoy it, and they're enjoying it today.
Yeah, definitely. It's always great playing with a smile, but that only comes with the hard work. And at half-time, we saw Layla Gutscups walking out on her crutches, and Helen Housby was trying to make the crowd cheer her, and Jo Harton was behind using her towel as a lasso. And so I just thought that's a sign of a comfortable, confident team. And so they are they are enjoying themselves, they are having fun, happy to have a laugh on court. And when you're winning by such a considerable margin, it's easy for you to have that fun.
Yep, the hard work's to come for the England Roses. Best ever finish in a Netball World Cup was a silver medal. That was back in 1975 in Auckland, New Zealand. Defending a bronze medal, of course, from Sydney 4 years ago. 5 bronze medals in total. A nice smile, which is good to see from Leila Guskov.
And Nuala Atia saying, anything you can do, Serena Guthrie, I can do better. She finds her shooter from the mid-court on the baseline.
Salinoa and the team getting frustrated again at the shooting end. Just putting 22 on the board here with just under 6 minutes remaining. It's going to be potentially their lowest score. Obviously testament to the fact that it's England's highest now, as number 79 goes in.
That through-court passage of play for England was impressive. The speed in which it moved down, forward-thinking. Jo Harton, as she was catching the ball, she already knew that Fran Williams was running wide, swung the ball all the way across the court, and Rachel Dunn's timing out of the circle was impeccable. So that was just brilliance from the England Roses.
37 from 37. 38 from 38. The score clock is turning over at rapid speed for England at the moment. Samoa starting to look a little bit tired as well in this fourth and final quarter, but who aren't getting tired are the England Roses fans, crammed into the M&S Bank Arena here. And we've got 5 minutes remaining of this match, Ama Agwezi. Tracy Neville's made many changes. She's had a team on court in different positions. What so far, going now into the stage 2 of the prelims, has impressed you the most in terms of the lineup that she's put out?
I've been really impressed with the team adapting to those changes. It can be really difficult to keep getting changes put on, and Samoa, they have had a lot of changes and they too are trying to settle into the match. But the English Roses, they're really stepping up. Anyone who's got their opportunity has stepped up into their position. We are remembering again that Leila Guskov suffered an injury yesterday, and so the girls will still be feeling that emotionally, and so they've really stood up. I think Serena Guthrie, a captain's performance from her in the first half of the game, putting her body on the line, leading the team by example. Here she's being dogged, she's on the body, she's contesting, pushing opponent, jostling for position. But all across the court, we saw Jiva Mentor just coming out with a flying interception, and I'm really impressed with the Roses. They've not taken their foot off the pedal. Just because there's a 60-goal difference within the score, they mean business, and they know that this is just a sign of things to come. It's going to get tougher for now, so whilst you can enjoy it, whilst you can have fun, do so.
The flags are waved, the thunder sticks are clattered, and no doubt somewhere a baby still sleeps. But Rachel Dunn under the 10-foot post. Oh, I love that. I don't see that enough. That big teethy grin of Rachel Dunn saying, you know what, I am loving this.
Yeah, we mentioned that she missed out on Commonwealth Games last year, and she's here now and she's playing such a great game. Jo Harton just spotted her. Core strength, just enough to keep that ball in court and score, and that beaming smile that we love to see.
The crowd are chanting England, hands are being thrown in the air. It's the first miss. It's took until 3 minutes of an hour of world-class netball for Jo Harton to miss. She was on for 40 from 40.
Also, just point out that I think it was Misa there with the rebound, jumped really high. So Harton, as a shooter, you know that when you're going to miss, typically, as the ball leaves your hands, you know you're going to miss. So you almost have one up on the defender to get the rebound, but Harton unable to rebound her own missed shot there.
2.5 minutes remaining, 84-24. It's a 60-goal huge advantage, which was to be expected with no disrespect to Samoa, the world number 3s, England taking on the world number 14s. It was always going to be a tough, nigh impossible task for the Samoan side, but they've shown flashes of some really good play, some sloppy errors and some mistakes. Their count should be higher than the 24 that it is. It will be their lowest score of the 3 matches so far. Oh, that's a lovely camera angle shot of court 1 here at the M&S Bank Arena. But with under 2 minutes remaining, Emma, does Tracy Neville know her starting 7? Have we seen a side that can win this World Cup? And if so, who?
Well, I think Tracy Neville knew her starting 7 yesterday, and then we had that injury to Leila Guskov. So she's kind of trying a few new things, and it might change, but in netball you can make as many changes as you want to, and so just because you start a game one way, you can change it within 1 minute. But if you get that call up, you want to perform and you want to stay on court. Jade Clark, I think she definitely stepped up to that starting position today, and I think she's going to be key for the England team.
That was a nice diplomatic answer. I like that, Emma.
I'm working on my politician, my political answers.
I can see your starting 7 for England to potentially win the World Cup churning in your head. They've got the depth, they've got the talent, and they're looking to upgrade from silver from all those years ago. 87-24, 88-24, Jade Clark, Pittman, Usoro Brown. Rachel Dunn glances up at the clock on the big screens above us. It's going to be win number 3 for the England Roses with a huge win against Samoa. And they'll go on to the second stage of the prelims undefeated, as are Jamaica at the moment, as are New Zealand, South Africa and Australia. This is what the fans came to see.
Rachel Dunn rebounding or Rachel Dunn scoring?
Oh, the team pointing up. They want 90. They want to equal South Africa. That's the biggest score of the Netball World Cup so far. South Africa yesterday put 90 down. The Dunn family go wild. Helen Housby goes wild. Have they got time? They're not going to go down the other end with 5 seconds to go to get the best score so far, but they'll take 90-24. The final whistle goes, 3 out of 3 for the England Roses. The fans are on their feet. What a performance, what a score, and a super way to finish the first stage preliminaries here at the Vitality Netball World Cup. The noise is deafening. England win, 90-24. There's the huddle of the two teams. Every single match, it's standard, it's routine, it's nice, it's respectful. Samoa would have learnt a lot against the Commonwealth champions. It'll be interesting to see what Tracy Neville's learnt from that match as her England Roses continue forward. Still not lost a quarter in this Netball World Cup, and still not lost a match. They will go onwards and upwards. The last goal that was being egged on by the England Roses, get to 90, equal the highest score that's been put in so far. And they did. And that's what it means to the England bench. And understandably, Ama Agwezi, everybody so far is happy.
Yeah, definitely. We saw the Dunn family in the crowd celebrating there too. They're happy, the English crowd are happy, the Roses are happy, Tracy's happy, but there's still a way to go in the tournament. They only have 11 players with the loss of Lena Gutscup, so it'll be interesting to see how the girls rally around. We saw a few cheers from Gutscup earlier when the girls went out. She's definitely feeling it, and it will be interesting to see how the English team progress.
It's England's 9th highest Netball World Cup score ever, the 8th time England have scored 90 or more at the Netball World Cup in a match. So the England team celebrate. Our courtside reporter Hannah Wilts is catching up with the head coach Tracy Neville.
Well, Tracy, 90 goals to 24. You must be happy with that one.
Yeah, I think I was really happy with the emotions that we had yesterday coming off that. I think we really needed to put out a real enjoyable, fun performance. Sometimes in these competitions you forget why you're actually playing netball in the original, so I'm glad the team were able to keep the composure and just keep batting that score out. So congratulations to Samoa. I thought they were a really well managed team as well, and yeah, I was really pleased with the girls' performances.
We saw you shuffle the pack quite a lot during that match. How do you feel about the variety of combinations you've got on court?
I think it's quite exciting. Obviously, missing one player down, we've got to be a bit more strategic about where we're going to make our changes, as we've obviously got through stage 1 of the competition. But I'm really pleased where we're at. At the end of the day, we just have to win every game to get to the final, and that's where we want to be.
Just give me a word on Jo Harton today. She missed one. Will she be hearing about that, or will you let her have it?
It was funny when she actually missed that shot. We were like, she definitely knows she was on 100%. I think she was outstanding today. I think we needed that from a leader and in that circle. And yeah, I'm really pleased with the way she come out and played.
Thanks very much, Tracy. Well played today. Let's bring in England captain Serena Guthrie. Serena, a great performance, enjoyable to watch, and you girls look like you were having a great time on court.
Yeah, look, I think our word of the day today was enjoyment. I mean, this whole World Cup, the support and everything's been absolutely insane. So we just want to soak up every minute, and I'm really proud of that performance.
Great to see the girls sort of rallying around Layla as well, her cheering on court, and all the girls on the bench cheering on to get that 90th goal towards the end there. Just how good is the team cohesion?
Yeah, it's what we pride ourselves on, it's what makes us and very unique. And, obviously we're gutted for Layla. It's, not just her on court, but our off the court as well. And, we're very lucky that she's able to stay with us at this time. So, that part of that performance was for her today. And, the least we can do for her now is to try and get ourselves into that final.
You've got to keep building, keep going forward. Samoa gave you some challenges at times today. What did you learn from that match?
Yeah, look, I think they play, a bit similar to the Kiwi style, just in that kind of loose man, kind of zone defence. So for us, it was a little bit of adjustment out there at times. And, it's great to play these different styles early on so we can kind of tidy some things up towards the kind of business end of the competition.
Thanks very much. Well played today.
Thank you.